What's up, people? This is episode 61. How y'all doing, man? And the episode starts. This is Sports Debate Tuesday, and the episode starts right now. Gotta give the people what they want. Gotta get the people what they want. What's up, it? I feel like I'm in a rush, man. I'm talking really, really fast, like that dude John Muschietti who played Blur from Transformers. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you guys are at. This is episode 61. This is Sports Debate Tuesday, and along with my man Rob, keep it McLean. I'm Jason DeBeas, your co-host with this. Not a whole lot to cover, just a little bit, but you know we can make a little bit a whole lot. So, very interesting thing on to shame or not to shame. Major League Baseball's pulling their All-Star game out of Georgia. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I got a big shout out at the end, covering a trailer load of volleyball because, Rob, it's our wheel house. But first things first. Right now, as we speak, this is Sports Debate Tuesday, but we pre-record Monday night. So right now, as we speak, Baylor is playing Gonzaga. So we are going to be prisoners of the moment, or this everlasting moment of this magnificent shot by Jalen Suggs to put the dagger in UCLA's hopes. First of all, before I pose a question, big up to UCLA, right? They had a playing game. Just to get in, and then upset this team, upset that team, got lucky, got good, and everyone thought, right? Not one person thought that you would see a tie game with 4 or 5 seconds left, or just under 7 seconds left. Not one of us, and potentially could have won, right? They were charging foul or whatever from winning, for winning before it even got to overtime. So, Rob, consolidating our question to the one big one. All the years we watch NCAA March Madness. This put the madness back in March Madness, by the way. Rob, the question is, can you think of a better shot than what we've seen over the weekend?
It's hard to say that any shot's better than the other. My favorite shot, just because, I'm a Duke fan, but also it was just like the perfect kind of play where Grant Hill threw it down the Christian Laettner, and then he, did a turnaround jumper from the free throw line.
Dude.
I mean, that was just picture perfect. So to me, I think it was a little bit more lucky. But, he got the opportunity. He took the shot. He kept good form, and he made it. So good up to him. But, I think it's in the top 5. And I think if a shot, and we're talking about it, today, as in it's yesterday, the shot was made. Man, if that's already a historic shot, that should just be enough.
Yes.
When things are that great, you don't really need to be the best. It's just great.
Yeah. Hey, listen, for everybody listening at home, I owe you an apology, right? This is almost a setup thing because, if LeBron does something great, you're prisoners of the moment, and it's like, isn't he the greatest of all time? And everyone's like, no, Jordan is. And I think I kind of gave them a setup question where it kind of dumbs down their momentum and kind of sounds like a little player hater question. But over the weekend, I was a prisoner of the moment. I was like, that's the best shot I've ever seen in my life. And the reason why I brought it up is because my answer is no, it's not the best shot I've seen in the history of college March Madness, but it ranks in the top 5. Highlighting what you said before about Christian Laettner. That turnaround jumper in 1992. I mean, that's a Grant Hill thing. Oh my God, that was pretty darn good, right? Highlighting, of course, number 1 should be Villanova. Like North Carolina tied the game with X amount of time left, and then Villanova shot a 3 to win. So, and that was a final, right? The Duke game you're talking about, that was to get into the Elite 8, right? So Villanova's was to win. Michael Jordan, as a freshman, hit a winning shot, but it was more like an open look. 18-footer jump and shoot. So because it's Jordan and because it introduced him, people are prisoners of the moment, and they put that as that number 1 or number 2 and put that higher than this shot. And it's a finals, right? So I just named 4 really, really good shots. So I put this shot number 2. I mean, he had momentum, he had forward momentum, and because it required a little bit of luck. I mean, it was a bank shot. It was slightly to the right, and it was slightly a foot forward, and let's just say, having money in the bank helps. And this dude's for real, man. This dude's a he's NBA material. He's I mean, it was signature for him, Rob, because he put the finishing touches in the game where he had his fingerprints all over it. Right?
Right.
Bring your attention to the block, right? He gets the block, secures his own steal on the block. Perfect pass for a dunk. Not to mention their team took a charge before, that could have been called like a blocking foul. That was a
Hmm.
blocking foul. Boom. UCLA is going to the finals. So they took some chances where this instance they left it into the hands of the referee, and this one they took charge. So this dude Jalen Suggs, magnificent. Let's also highlight Tiger Campbell, the guy with the big lumpy dreads. I don't know how else to call him, but he's had his fingerprints all over us. And what a great finals! I mean, as far as the best shot, yeah, but Rob, if we're asking the question, and I'm gonna give you the floor a minute, if we're asking the question as far as like finals, it's in its entirety from like beginning of the clock all the way to the end. Wow, was there one better? I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't think so.
yeah, was there one better? It's just insane, dude. In fact, let me I think I have a highlight of the shot. That's the one he did. Here's a shot at the end, just a little walk off, and it's so signature in a sense that he took the shot, Rob, basically where the star was. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
maybe
was
they'll show a
far.
replay. There was a star on the court, and it's so symbolic, right? Let's see if I got it again. He took the shot. Okay, here's this guy getting his own layup, man. Oh my God. He took the shot. See who the stars are? It's like
Oh, yeah,
boom,
before the
it's like
stars.
symbolically, I'm like, dude, you want to be a star. You want to
Damn,
be a star. Boom, the
that was a
star's in
crazy
front of
shot.
me. Now the star is behind me, and I'm going to the finals. So right now, man, they're losing like 40-22 in real time as we speak. And by the time this comes out, you're already going to have a decisive winner. In fact, by the time this podcast is over, we'll probably have a winner. But for now, let's congratulate them. Let's congratulate our women, right? We got what was it? Arizona losing to Stanford.
Stanford.
Stanford was a perennial one or two the entire season and very deserving. And in all Pac-12 finals, Pac-12's women's basketball is back. Forget SEC, forget ACC, Big 12, or Pac-12, and the men, right? Got four teams in the Elite Eight: Oregon State, USC, UCLA.
Right.
Wow, dude. So so cool. That's it for NCAA, which leads us to topic two, Rob.
Mm.
It's a little bit uncomfortable for me, but basically Michael Rapoport was criticizing Kevin Durant about doing an interview and how uncomfortable and emotional he was in the interview. And Michael Rapoport basically said, like if you don't want to do the interview, don't do the interview. This is stupid. So basically, Durant, who we know is, and you're probably going to say this in your diatribe, he's a pretty sensitive dude, man. I mean, I'm going to give you the floor, but these are some of the texts that were sent back. So this is him saying, just do the effing interview. You're upset about blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, this is Durant's response on the bottom. Tell your baby daddy, Chuck, to be better at his job, blah, blah, blah. And then he just keeps going. I heard it all before, you cunt. Chuck doesn't need us as security, you pale, pasty, cum guzzling bit. I swear I'm gonna spit in your face when I see you. And from here, it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. Meet me here. I can't wait to catch you. I'm gonna spit in your face, the P word. And boom, here just more of the same. Just more of the same. Suck a D. So basically, he got fined $50,000. And eventually, what's Rapoport called his lawyer. And now he's like, P.S. want to lawyer up, blah, blah, blah. You're mad and now it's attacking his wife. You're mad as whatever. So it's like going too far. You want to see the whole thing? Sorry.
No, you good.
Okay.
I was reading it. So
So
it's just
all of
a lot.
this. So Rob, I'm going to give you the floor, your reaction to this. But before I give you the floor, all of this was DM. It was private. communication. And Michael Rapoport, I guess, decided he went too far and released it for all of the public to see. So the question is, it's just so weird. Was Durant out of line on this one, or was Michael Rapoport for releasing it, or both?
Um,
This is a
I
this is a
mean,
hot take for you, man.
yeah. For me, honestly, I think it's both. You know, they can both be better. I don't even know why that conversation is even happening. Rappaport is a comedian. You know, that's him first. So if you don't get that, you know, I don't even know why they haven't like why they're talking. You know, Durant should be focusing on getting healthy. You know, playing for the Nets, being with his family. If not that, you know, he doesn't need to be, you know, on social media. That's the thing is like, you know, with like the players of this, you know, next coming generation, I guess I should say, it's like it's okay to be a part of social media, but like don't it can still ruin your life just like anybody else, you know, and you know, just having your focus anywhere else, uh, you know, or anywhere just in that social media realm, and not focusing on your craft, you know, it could just hurt your overall productivity throughout your career. So, yeah, I think Durant, and it's nothing against him, but this is the reason why, you know, he couldn't really win a championship in OKC. You know, is there's stuff behind the scenes that people don't really know or talk about that makes him not necessarily have to like be capable of being that number one. Same thing with Kyrie Irving. I think he's capable basketball wise of being a number one player for a team, but there are things behind, you know, behind the curtain that come out sometimes and you're like, why Kyrie Irving's a weird dude, you know, Russell Westbrook, you know, you know, they're fantastic basketball players, but there are reasons why their game doesn't develop. And, you know, Kevin Durant is 6'11". You know, I'm sorry, you
Seven
can't
six
really teach
wingspan.
that.
Yeah.
You know, I think he learned a lot from Steve Kerr and that Golden State offense about how to play basketball at a much more efficient level. Just take mid-range jump shots that no one can defend, and then when the ball comes to you at the 3-point line, have the ability to shoot again. His efficiency is, you know, through the roof. So I just think basketball is so easy for him right now that he, you know, allows himself to do other things, and instead of, you know, grinding on the basketball court, going in and putting that extra Kobe Bryant type hours, you know, he's going out and, you know, spending his time talking BS to, you know, a reporter on the sidelines who, you know, who cares what he says, you know? So at the end of the day, you can say, you know, words don't affect me. And we're talking about being sensitive and whatnot, but there's a reason why being sensitive is not a good thing. It's because it can affect you. You know, these words should never come out of your mouth. No one should have to know those feelings that you have. And if that's what you feel, you can absolutely word it better and have more of an effect on somebody. That just sounds like a child, you know, and that's the sad part of it. Like Michael Rapoport can sound like a child because he's a comedian, you know, he's an entertainer, you know, it could be just a joke, you know. To Kevin Durant, like, yeah, he could be joking, but at the end of the day, you know, that's not really his gig. So it's just weird coming out of Kevin Durant, who as an athlete should just be, you know, a little bit more hard-headed or, you know, a little bit more tough skin. So it's weird. It's definitely weird. I think it's bad on both of them, and that is my diatribe.
Yeah, man. Look, I got to co-sign with you on this, and as far as the scale of who deserves the more of the blame, I just got to do a first take thing on this, just like you. So I'm gonna give you some names, right? Like Jon Stewart, right? Stephen Colbert when he's doing the Colbert Report. Who else? Jimmy Dore. Me, Joe Rogan, Michael Rappaport. A lot of these people are entertainers and they're podcasters, but then when they start opening their mouth, that makes them sound like a journalist. It's very disingenuous to some of these people to say, hey, I'm not a journalist, I'm an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? When people hold their words accountable to them. And that's what makes me uncomfortable about Michael Rappaport. You know, the same guy that was calling Donald Trump a BITC, a bitch, right? He can go suck or whatever, this or that and this and that. So for me, if you open your mouth and you know I'm no supporter of Donald Trump. I don't think I speak for both of us. We don't not exactly our favorite person in the world. But I think the point I'm trying to make is you can't lash out at people like that and have a real opinion about them. I mean, you have a shtick and you have this online persona, but your online persona sneaks in these things that you're self honest about, and then all of a sudden, hey, whoa, I'm an entertainer. That's bullshit. That's nonsense. Okay, and I don't think Michael Rapoport gets to play the victim. I think if he should dish it, he should dish it. He should take it. With that being said, Kevin Durant is a professional basketball player. All right. No one's asking him to be a role model for kids, but there is a conduct unbecoming a professional basketball player that if you say something like this, you're going to get fined. If you say it in private and if someone abuses your privacy and it comes out, you're going to get chopped. They're going to give you the chop. And that's what they did. That's what they did to Sterling from the Clippers when he was talking to his mistress of like, why you got to have all these black people here? What is it about having all these black people? A private conversation that everybody was ready to cancel him on, but Mark Cuban warned everybody, look, these private conversations, these are a slippery slope. Sometimes you give someone a slap on the wrist and sometimes you give someone a death penalty. And for me, I think this just, and so I'm freaking on something here. There we go. And for me, I think a slap on the wrist and the fine is exactly what warranted this because he wasn't apologetic. He's like, I'm sorry that the fans hear that. I don't want fans hear me talking like that. That's not apologizing to them. It is an apology. Like it's like my private life, I like to talk like this. My public life, I know I got to put on a face. And it's this thing where everyone's disappointed. Oh, you shattered my image of you, and that's bullshit because anybody that says you're supposed to be the same person at work that you are in your private life is either a robot or they're perfect. They live their life more flawless than Jesus, or they're bullshitting themselves and they're bullcrapping people. So I give Kevin Durant a pass as far as what he says in private, but I don't give him a pass because those words and the depth in how he said it matters. You are 6'11" with a 7'6" wingspan. You threaten someone that's not even an elite athlete. Never mind basketball. I mean, right? The only thing athletic about him is his feet. Yeah. I mean, look, Kevin Durant threatens me. I'm gonna take a bat to his knees and then everyone's gonna be like, oh, you're not gonna fight him straight up. You're not gonna be a man and fight this 6'11" guy fair and square. Okay, no. So as to the question of who's more out of line, I mean, the answer is both of them. But who's more out of line? Rapoport bloviates this and you incite a well-known sensitive personality like Kevin Durant. What did you think was going to happen? It's Rob. My question to you is, and I've been talking more than you, but my question to you is that not well documented that this dude is a sensitive cat? You can't even ask him a question at the press conference without him taking offense. He is so sensitive. He made a fake account. He made up a sock account to troll people back at him who was trolling him.
I mean,
dude.
I know that's possible, but at the end of the day, know yourself. If you're a sensitive person, don't be taking interviews with Michael Rapoport. He's clearly a type of guy. Every time he's on ESPN or whatever, if you don't know who he is, then ask around. But at the end of the day, it's much easier to just avoid people who are acting like that. It's cool and it's funny when it's happening. If you don't want it to happen to you, you got to kind of protect yourself in a way that's maybe an avoidance as opposed to, having to aggressively actually do it. You can be smarter about it. And that's what I mean is like, and if he has to say those words, I mean, that sounded like pretty weak talk. That really didn't sound like somebody who was ready to defend themselves.
Yeah.
So it was just, pretty, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of them things where we move on, and I feel it's an uncomfortable topic, but since everyone's talking about it and it's a sports debate show, we gotta give it its due attention. And now wax on, wax off, Okay, enough of the NBA, and now we're getting into our stuff. We're getting into beach volleyball, baby, because it's our wheel house. All right, so weekend events. We got Try and Trevor. There was a Hermosa Beach Invitational. Try, Bourne, and Tr.Crabb rebounded from disappointing, not making the big disappointment. I'm not making the country quota, and they beat Patterson and Buttinger over the weekend to win the Hermosa Beach Invitational. And in other news in the Midwest, the Houston Open was won by upstarts Evan Cory and his new partner. They've been playing a few tournaments together. Almost looks like it's going to be almost looks like it's going to be a real partnership, Rob, with Logan Weber. So had a chance to talk to Tr.Crabb earlier today, and here it is. All right, hey people, I have ex Long Beach State alumni, two-time AVP champion, multiple-time FIVB champion, Tr.Crabb, and most recently, winner of the Hermosa Beach Invitational. What's up, Trev?
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Trev, you and Try have been at this for quite some time, and I'm gonna go back in a minute for that. But for the present tense, was there something in this particular tournament that you guys did well that actually pushed you guys through? Um, were you blocking particularly well? So was the serve to space good? What was going on today?
Yeah, I think also a big thing was we were just starting to have more fun, just playing and competing again. We've just been pretty much just training for the last 2, 3 months and haven't had any competitions really, so that can get kind of boring and repetitive and not that fun. So just that, and also, we switched a little things up on defense. Had have a try block a little more and me stay in the back row a little bit more, and
Yeah.
that's been generating a few more points for us.
Yeah, hey, your digging and your first step has picked up like
Mm.
significantly over the last couple of years. And you're right, there's nothing like real time that gives you that extra level up where you're just like
Yeah,
excited to
exactly.
play. All right, here's my other question. You guys formed this team about 3 years ago. Um, and you've done well on the international scene of the domestic tour, most recently last year. So glad you guys won that AVP title. Right, got that part of your life, got it over with. First time I actually saw you guys kind of level up, and I'm sure it happened before FIVB Las Vegas.
Yep, yep,
So, so what has gotten better from FIVB Las Vegas? Because this draws a picture in your head up to
yeah.
this point where you guys thought you showed significant improvement.
I think the biggest thing was our defense, just because neither of us were defenders before that, and just going into that tournament, we kind of didn't know what we were really doing defensively in terms of our strategy and where our lineup should be. And that's something that we're still improving on, but definitely have gotten a lot better on over the last 2 years, and that's kind of our biggest goal to get better at that.
Nah, I definitely. Again, I've been following you guys for a long time, and I witnessed everything you said firsthand. Last question, and this is for inquiring minds. I bring your attention to Cancun. Got a three week 4-star FIVB Invitational. What does
Yep.
your point situation look like, and do you have to do a country quota again for I guess starting with the first one and then going from there? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think we're in the first one for sure, and the second one I think we'll have a bye into the qualifier, and then the
Mm.
third one I think we're back in the country quota. So we definitely have our work cut out for us, and we definitely need some good finishes. Hopefully, a couple medals to pass Phil and Nick again into that second spot.
Yeah, because you guys were ahead before Doha, and now I think you're like
Right.
50 points behind. All right,
Yeah.
Trevor. Hey, I had you 1 minute too long, my man. Thank you for your
All
time,
good.
man, and good luck in Cancun, man. I got some stuff to take care of, but I'm gonna keep my eye on you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me.
Hey, peace out. So, Rob, there's a final question that goes to this, but I wanted to drop this question on you first. Do you see them continuing to split block, or do you see Trevor's defense picking up a little bit, and maybe they lean towards that, or maybe they split block and whoever's hot does that? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I liked what they were doing, but I think it becomes there becomes a time where somebody does something better. And to me, I think it's just that Try has had so much experience at the net that his block is just always in the right spot. He's always, eyes on the ball. He's reaching really well. And even if maybe he's not as big of a block, which I think he's probably even bigger of a block than Trevor is, but his block is so smart that it's a lot easier for Trevor to even play defense. So, yeah, I definitely think that Trevor's going to probably end up in the backcourt more often. That will be probably their better lineup. But if they're serving tough, I don't think it really matters. I think they'll get people in tough situations so that they can get some real points against easy balls in the court. So yeah, it was it's cool to see it. And to answer your first point, yeah, I think it's a lot better for Trevor and Try because again, you do something sometimes, and you take a semifinal at Rome, and then you break a wrist, and the wheels fall off, and then you never play again. Sometimes that happens. I mean, that happens all the time in the beach game. So for them to come back, play against some top competition, like they're saying, only training for 2-3 months, it's good for them to get back and show they're still competing at a high level.
Yeah, I also like that eventually they're figuring things out. I mean, there's nothing worse. You hear me get old and crabby about some things, but there's nothing worse in the world to me than watching two teams who have played each other 15 times have this kind of like 15 point or whole first set feeling out process where it looks like so much of the same where like I can leave the game and already tell you not only the game but be pretty close to what the score is. And I like that they're making the adjustments because when they first hooked up, they had more success on the international scene than they did on the domestic tour because I think a lot of people had them figured out more than them. But just a matter of cracking the code. I know Jose Loyola is a good skills coach, but I hope he or someone else is helping them figure out the other, right? So, but before I give you my answer on like which one, as far as wins are concerned, is more important, I got Evan Cory. And this is Evan Cory, looking like and the dark, looking like the Emperor. What's up? I got with me the new sensation. I don't want to call him a newcomer because I think he's in many ways he's been here the whole damn time. What's up, Evan Cory?
How's it going?
I like how you come out the dark from like the Emperor from Return of the Jedi. You're like so be it. Jedi. So listen, let's winners of the Houston Invitational over the weekend. You and Logan Webber. Was there give me one thing you thought Logan Webber did in that tournament that helped put you guys through? Because you guys look really, really dominant.
I mean, that dude was serving off the charts. I mean, he hit every single line I think that there was to hit when he was serving throughout the weekend. It was a really good serving showing for him. So
yeah, cool. So you've been kind of like a hitman for hire with multiple partners, but I noticed you and Logan Webber have been playing multiple tournaments together. So I guess my question is twofold. Will you continue to play with him as you guys level up in competition? And the second question is, what's one thing you think you're going to do that's going to help make this team a better whatever? So let's start with the first question. Is this a partner for the near and distant future?
I think this is kind of the plan for whatever, I guess the AVP, whatever kind of season you want to call it, because who knows? I mean, they're still keeping us in the dark about all that, so that hasn't been great.
No, everyone's been in the dark.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if there is something like that, I think that is the plan for this year.
Cool. What's one thing you want to do a little bit better? Something in a tournament that you're like, you know what? I think I need to fix that, and I think when we win this, I'm gonna do a quick fix here with LT right now. So give me one thing that you wanted to fix as far as this chemistry, be it physically or maybe just a mental mindset.
Yeah, I think for me personally, for us to get better, it's just continuing to improve at defense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is now we're in April now, so
Yeah.
this is month 4 of me actually training defense ever in my life. I've always been a blocker,
Mm-hmm.
so it's still continuing just to learn things that I need to do to get better there. And there's just so many areas you can improve there. For all the blockers out there who think they have don't have the life and think that blocking is hard, that's a damn lie. Defense I would say is a lot more difficult than blocking because there's a lot more responsibility in the game there on you because a team can kind of game plan against the blocker pretty well and pretty much take the blocker out of the game if they want, but then that all falls on the defender, and there's a lot more thinking involved there. I think trying to bait and stuff like that, and a lot of subtle movements, a lot of small things here and there, and so yeah, if you're a blocker looking to become a defender, maybe second guess yourself and really think if that's the way to go, because I think it's pretty tough. But I've loved the transition so far. I think it's gone pretty well. Definitely some areas that I can still improve upon, but learning every day, and I'm just kind of excited to keep growing in that way. It's been a fun challenge.
Hey, listen, for someone that has had to block full time and has had to play defense and split block, I think many will refer to you on that, as well as Tr.Crabb, who was just on the previous interview. Evan, Cory, thank you for your time, my man.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
That was Evan and Logan Weber, and I got to watch the semifinals and the quarterfinals live. I didn't watch the finals, but I understand that they rolled through the competition with relative ease. And let me tell you, Rob, like some of these people in their zip code have special powers. Like right? A lot of these relative unknown beach volleyball players or whatever, you play them in Hermosa Beach, you whooping that behind, right? You play them in Texas, you like, this ain't the same team I played in Hermosa Beach. So there's something to say about that they travel well. And this dude, Logan Weber, his serve to space, coming down like a ton of bricks. So I'm very, very happy for both of them, But as of the question, which one was more significant? Was it Trevor and Try's rebound, or was it Weber and Cory's emergence? I think it was Trevor and Try's rebound, because there's so much more at stake, right? Cory's been kind of like a hitman for hire, playing with this guy, playing with that guy, and only recently have we seen him play multiple tournaments with one partner, and that looks like that's going to be a marriage for a little bit. And I'm not degrading or casting any aspersions on their growth as a team or their emergence. Of course, that's important too. But as to the question, what's more important? Trevor and Try, man. They're a couple of points behind Phil and Nick. This 3 weeks, 4 stars, man. They got some work to do. And I already told you, I admit I'm a fan. I really want them to see them get in.
Me too.
You too? Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. So, all right. Hey, really, really like what's going on there. Let me see if I can cue us up, because I think you know what comes next. We're rolling right along, man. I'm going to keep us, after shame or no shame, I'm going to give us a score update on this game. Right now it's past the half, and the halftime shows are there as long as a half, and that's so stupid. Come on, just get the cheerleaders out there, have Charles Barkley talk about himself, have people send tweets about him, and let's get back in this goddamn game. What's the matter with you people? But for now, my favorite category, to shame or not to shame.
Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame.
Okay, Robbie, let's do this. There we are. So, Rob, to shame or not to shame, the 2021 Major League All-Star Game for Major League Baseball is withdrawing their game from the state of Georgia and looking for another venue because of the past legislation on voting restrictions. Rob, have some fun with this. I'll give you the whole minute if you want. The floor is yours. Shame or no shame?
Yeah, so I say actually no shame on the Major League Baseball, because I think they've done a great job, or most sports franchises are businesses, and they do a great job of minimizing their effect on things they're not trying to take a stance on. So I think the best idea here is not to minimize the issue by ignoring it and holding an event there. And moving venues, you're not going to cancel the game. I think that would be a step even further. So you move the venue, you keep it, maybe somewhere in the vicinity, so at least the people in that area can still see that, still drive and see that sport. But I think it's a good job of being neutral, not taking a stance in a public sector about what's actually going on over there, but also not highlighting or minimizing the issue by highlighting the baseball game. So I think it's a great job.
Right on cue, Rob. I think I got to go with you. I'm going to go no shame. I mean, I could sit here and shame the legislation all I want, but I have a big issue with this, and allow me to dip my toe in the politics for everyone to skip or whatever. I think as far as the state of Georgia is concerned, you had an election, you had a count. There was some controversy in the count. They had a recount. And then after the recount, they have something called a paper trail. A paper trail being they actually have paper ballots. So now you can match the paper ballots with the electronic voting, and those things came out, and there was no operative words, no widespread fraud. Well, then there might have been one or two cases, but when you consider one or two cases out of 10,000, it really didn't change the narrative. So for me to make voting restrictions tighter, which I have no problem with having an ID to vote. I think everyone should have an ID to vote, but to make to not have it on the weekends, to try to close the polls at 5 o'clock when people of color, it's harder for them to vote because they have to work, and then they can't get off work to do that, even though election day is supposed to be a holiday. And this whole silly thing about not being able to provide food or water, I don't know the full story on that, but I have no shame in Major League Baseball doing something like this, and I think it is, Rob, I think it is very, very unique, because it's the first time the owners, which as far as owners are concerned for major sports franchises, which lean more conservative than left, decided to do what they thought was morally right, not politically right. They kept politics, they gave politics a back seat, and I guess there is power through protest, right? Like the old saying is like Democrats protest but Republicans legislate. They change the laws, but when doing the right thing is popular, and the popular thing makes money, right? And making money or losing money affects people's bottom line. Guess what?
Happen.
Legislation changes that way too. And again, Rob and I were not here to get political on anybody, and I do double down on my take on the state of Georgia as far as voter fraud is concerned or whatever, and this and that. For everyone that has a problem, you come see me and when you come see me, maybe we talk about all of the Republicans that got elected and got their seats reelected in the state of Georgia, which there have been no complaints about voter fraud about them. So if you're going to sit there and say this is fraudulent just because that person won, but you don't want to have a recount on all the seats, then it shows me who you are as a lefty or a righty. And I speak for Rob and myself. We're not interested in that conversation. We're interested in human movements. Rob, I've been talking over you. Is there something you want to say about that before we go on?
No, I definitely don't want to cross that boundary. I just, it pains me to see that people are still, their mind is a little lost in what the whole process is even about,
No doubt.
So I just think, let's just check on our education system and see what we really want to be teaching our youth. How about some of that?
Nice. Cool, man. All right. Hey, let's snap to next subject matter. That was the shame and not the shame. And now our next subject is quick question. Quick question. La la. Rob, I laugh at nothing, man. I'm just happy to be on this show with my dude. Rob, quick question. Nate Diaz is going to fight Leon Edwards. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I think it's a big thumbs up. Yeah, I think it's going to be a hopefully a flashy fight, and if not, Leon Edwards going to lose some pay-per-view points.
Yeah. Well, Edwards is a complete fighter, and I don't think he has a problem standing up with Diaz, particularly in a division where Diaz has been ragdolled. If anyone checks Diaz's record at 170 pounds, he is 4-4. He's gotten ragdolled by people like Rory McDonald and other people in the past. Conor McGregor was at 170, and that was a split. So, it's not like Leon Edwards has to suck down and get worked at 155. Leon, I think it hurts his bottom line because I don't think if he's the guy that wants the title shot next, and maybe people are like, no, you just beat Diaz. But Diaz has kind of been, right? He's kind of been the gatekeeper. It's like whoever's beaten him has gotten a title shot because I didn't think McGregor deserved a title shot after splitting with Diaz, at 170, and that deserved him a 155-pound shot with the division he never fought. In the division right now, I think he's 2-2 in, So quick question. Anderson Silva set to box Julio Cesar Chavez in a boxing match.
I don't know. I mean, I like it. It's interesting, but boxing is a lot different than MMA. We've seen that one before.
Rob, I would have liked it 10 years ago. I don't like it, but I mean, he's such a polarizing figure. If he's in a cage or if he's in a ring, of course, I'm gonna see it on the replay. I ain't gonna pay to see that, but would have been more intriguing if they allowed a little like a Muay Thai, like a kickboxing match, to see if Chavez can combat that instead of just the sweet science of his hands. Quick question. Aaron Rodgers, as we speak right now, is hosting Jeopardy. Good idea or bad idea?
Yeah, great idea. I mean, Aaron Rodgers do whatever he want in the offseason.
Dude, I go good idea because he's a guy that says he's an avid fan and he's an avid fan and he studied up. So we're going to find out tonight after the show. Maybe some people can message us as we speak on this one. Quick question, Rob. Who wins between, we have a main event, UFC, Marvin Vettori and Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland super subbing.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty big time. Yeah, I mean, I like Kevin Holland, but I think Vettori is, on that hot streak, and you take that fighter. But that's a tough one to pick. I think I'd go Vettori, but we'll see.
Yeah, I like Vettori too. I think Holland loses 2 in a row. I don't think it's going to get him to stop talking. And I wish he's the kind of guy you wish he'd win because he's so entertaining. You know what I'm saying? He moves the needle, but like McGregor, you have to move the needle and win. And that's what gave him his popularity. And I'm always cheering for Kevin Holland. Okay, quick question, Rob. Who wins between Nina Ansaroff and Mackenzie Dern? It's somewhere in the bottom of the card, but I think popularity-wise, it should have been more higher up. But
I'm not a big fan of Mackenzie Dern, so I'm going to say Nina on this one. But, yeah, I mean, I hope she proves me wrong.
Look, I'm going on Saroff on this. There's not an individual, even in the matches she loses, is not a more prepared individual. And in light of the fact you have the greatest fighter of all time as your husband or wife, and Amanda Nunes as your sparring partner or maybe assistant coach, or you know what I'm saying, it's not like you have to spend time with the family and not watch video. They watch video together. So family that plays together stays together. So I'm going on Saroff. Quick question: who should go early in the NFL draft? Fields or Wilson?
Oh, I mean, Wilson, absolutely. And after today's Sam Darnold trade, I think Wilson's going to be that second overall pick.
Enlighten the audience. Enlighten me. What's Sam Darnold trade?
Oh, man, it was the Jets got nothing for him pretty much. I mean, they got
pack of cool cigarettes.
a sixth rounder this year, and then a second and a fourth rounder next year.
So you know what, dude, you know what that means then? They got the number 2 pick. They're gonna pick Wilson.
Yeah, they're gonna pick Wilson, and Carolina keeps their number 8 pick. So
they're gonna get Fields,
position player. No, they're not gonna get Fields with that because they got Darnold now.
Okay.
So I think it's definitely gonna be Wilson. I think Fields, man, I feel bad for him, but I think he's gonna be one of the Deshaun Watson type of players where people don't really see him, don't really think he's that great coming out of college, but man, he is going to light it up. I really think so. So see what happens.
I like it. I like how you say that. All right, cool. That concludes Quick Question. But Rob, before we go, from now on, Women's History Month is over. From now on, this is called Mad Props Monday. Okay, from Monday night to Tuesday morning. I got to give mad props to my man, my friend, my brother from another mother, the head coach of LMU, the LMU Lions women's beach volleyball team, John Mayer. Right now, LMU is 16-2 with their only losses against the number 1 seed in the country, USC, and the number 3 seed, I think, Florida State University. Both teams, I think, remain undefeated. I think there's 3 undefeated teams on top. LSU has lost 1, but I think that was the USC, and I think LSU is like a true number 2. John Mayer inherited this team. The first season, I think they were like 6-13. I was his assistant in 2018, got on board with him, and then we were 22-14. And in 2019, we were 21-9, where they eventually won the WCC championships, beating Pepperdine not once but twice because it was double elimination. They had to come out of hell to do it, Rob McLean. It was the only game his athletic director, his boss, went to, and it was awesome to have a one-off, one-time only impression where, wow, this guy that I hired is the WCC champs, and right now that they're, because of the pandemic, they're the reigning defending WCC champs. They beat Pepperdine twice, who was ranked number 7 at the time. They beat Long Beach State twice, and they're running roughshod with an impressive 16-2 record. And as far as difficulty of schedule, really only Vanguard's the only weaker team, and maybe San Francisco or someone at the end, or Georgia State, who was ranked number 18. But John Mayer, I love you. I hope you get into the NCAAs, and I hope you get the exposure you deserve. You're my bro. Cool. Mad props Monday, Rob.
Well, I don't got no mad props, but
there you go. You like no love Cody Garbrandt.
no.
Except significantly more handsome, and got those ridiculous tattoos that look like a exaggerated necktie. Love me some Cody, but what the hell were you thinking when you got tatted up like that?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I'm teasing him too, because he's all about them kids, man. I ain't gonna mess with someone that's about them kids, man. Big up to Cody. Big up to all of you guys that are listening. Rob, before I go on my little spiel, is there something you'd like to say to our listeners before we leave?
Stay safe, stay happy.
There you go. Rob said it. Rob actually does have love for you people. I, however, don't. Right now, the score is 59-75. Baylor's winning 75-59 with 8:30 left on the clock. So it looks like Baylor is going to be crowned the championships on a true 1-2 or 1-1. So I leave you with that. And for everybody watching at home, for all of you watching on your Droid or your iPad or your iPhone, for all of you watching this on your desktop, for my boy Rob, keep it McLean. This is episode 61 of Sports Debate Tuesday. I am Jason DeBeas. We're out. Come check out the Option Podcast on OptionVB.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify, and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.